What's up, everybody? Welcome to the CanesInSight Daily Podcast, powered by Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. It is Wednesday. It is championship week. We're recording like 7 shows today. Some will come out today, some will come out tomorrow, but there's so much content coming on CanesInSight. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel if you like Canes football or college football in general. CanesInsight.com, 7.8 million posts and counting. That might be, 20 million by the time this game is done. That thing is rocking and rolling. Socials, Instagram, Canes.Insight. And we got us on Twitter as well. Did that post on Malachi Tony and Mark Richt, went viral. So the action right now is with the University of Miami Hurricanes, and it's not going to stop. We're going to ride that wave with you all. Appreciate you guys joining us. Always appreciate Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. If you or someone you care about has been injured in an accident, you could be entitled to significant compensation. Dial 1-800-747-FREE, 1-800-747-3733. Take back control of your life with Anajar and Levine. Pete, hop in.
D, good morning. Let me tell you something, man. You want to know a bad omen?
Give it to me.
This guy pops up on your screen. Man, wherever he goes, losing follows, or should I say proceeds, because again, I'm not going to stop on this stuff. That video that came out of him patting his guys on the back and congratulating them for quitting on a season, and now he shows up all smiles here to see Jay Lucas and the boys go 4-0 in ACC play.
Dance on him.
Are you kidding me? I mean, all smiles here, like leaking the reports that he's staying. Okay, let's see what happens next year when you lose to Miami once again. He's EJ. This guy's a fake leader of men. How can you get in front? You get in front of the game, and then you let the video release. Mario would have strangled Cam Gorby if that got out. Strangled him. I mean,
you want to talk about hair dye too, by the way.
Hair dye. I don't even.
This guy's dripping. This guy's dripping it.
His situation's worse than Ryan Day. Just give it up, dude.
Well, so he watched another loss. Watched the green and orange stomp out the green and gold. That was fun to watch, man. I know we got so much football talk about. People go lose their minds, but I love watching this basketball team play. They're very much like the football team, just all business, physical, consistent in their effort. Love what I'm seeing from the basketball team. You talk about omens. I think they are really kind of setting us up here for what's going to be a great, great game on Monday. Pete, the more I watch Indiana, and look, this is the national championship, right? This is the peak of college football. These are the two best teams. Indiana deserves to be in the championship. They were the best regular season team and have been blowing teams out in the playoff. Miami deserves to be in the championship. You talk about the road to get here, beating 4 top 10 teams. So both teams deserve to be in this game. They're the two best teams. But man, the more I watch Indiana and the more I hear about Indiana from the media, this is like the most perfect matchup, Pete, that we could ever ask for. 72nd in sack percentage allowed, and they haven't even played us yet. Ohio State and Texas A&M were top 10 heading into those games, and they ended up in the 20s because they got sacked so many times. This matchup, Pete, again, they are great. They deserve to be in this game. If you're Miami, you got to play your best game of the season to win the championship. That's how it's got to be. It's called championship football. But I like the matchup, man. The more I dig into it.
I'm telling you, man. I said it yesterday. I could be clipped up like crazy, but I see this as a double-digit win for Miami. I feel very, very good about, and maybe you could say that I'm overly confident. I feel like we've been pretty pragmatic when talking about these games, right? I don't think we've said anything. And D, listen, I'm ready to jump on something that if it's maybe a bit homerish, but I think that we've called it pretty straight here as we've gone through these playoffs. And obviously we're going to be picking Miami once again here. No secret about that, as we've both kind of indicated. But I like the matchup, like you said. I understand the Signetti, the Aura, whatever you want to say about his coaching ability, but I like our guys against their guys, and they're trying to win a similar style that we are.
Exactly.
which is, you got to, Mendoza is such a difference maker for them because they execute because of him at such a high level, right? And they just convert on so many of these like 50-50 balls, and Becker he catches balls and that normally just it changes the tides of the game, right? A lot of these plays are like they make the plays that need to be made and they don't make mistakes, but I like our guys against theirs.
No doubt about it. We can't make mistakes. That's how they play. They let teams beat themselves like Oregon did. Miami can't do that, obviously. But man, this is going to be a fun game. Just the way it lays out. We talk about calling a straight. I think my Ole Miss score prediction, I said 31-27. It was 31-28.
You said 31. You said 31-28, and it was 31-27. I said 31-24. So we were both pretty much. You were a little closer than I were there, but I think we both pretty much had it.
Yeah, we knew it'd be a tricky matchup. So, and this is a tricky matchup in that it's the two best teams. So it's a tough matchup in that fashion because it's a championship, right? But stylistically, this is a better matchup for Miami, and narrative-wise, which in college football, watching college football since I was a young boy, 40 years old, these narratives and these themes as favorites and everybody betting against you, that plays out a lot. And when the more talented physical and bigger team and more battle-tested, physical, bigger, more battle-tested, more talented, is the underdog in their home stadium, and everybody's talking about the other team as the greatest team, I like that combination. That's a combustible combination if you're playing a team that's bigger than you, more talented than you, more physical than you, bigger than you, and that feels disrespected as the underdog. I like that matchup. Stylistically, we're talking Landon Tangwell here in a little bit. We'll bring him on. Recording that one right after we're off. He's going to talk about the actual tackle matchup versus our defensive ends, which I love. Again, 72nd in sack percentage for Indiana. Weak on the right side. Sound familiar. Quarterback can move, but he is not Trinidad Chambliss. I love the matchup. But Pete, we're going to talk all day about this game. Let's talk about the story that everybody wants to know about. They don't want to know about who's healthy for the game. They might want to know about getting tickets. But really, 99% of the texts that I've received in the last 24 hours, and Pete, tell me if you're in the same way, quarterback situation. That's what everybody's asking about. And we're going to bring on Orchid Man here in a second. And Orchid Man is the insider of insiders. He was on the field with the confetti. We'll talk to him in a second. But Pete, just kind of, what are you hearing? Where are you at on the quarterback search?
Well, obviously we did a show yesterday afternoon after a couple of the options seemingly went off the board as Ty Simpson signed his paperwork for the NFL. There was still technically a chance he could withdraw after that, but I think the story that we haven't talked about with him was the quotes that came out from him last night, which
let's talk about
really holier than thou. I'll say this. I think Ty Simpson's a good quarterback. I think he would have been a really good QB here, but I don't really understand the need to go out there and make the comments that he made.
Right. For those who didn't know, so let's put it here. This guy, all the SEC people are very excited about Ty Simpson's quote here, as he tweets from his home, having been eliminated in shame with a blowout defeat. He says, if he went to Miami, everybody would just remember me as the guy who took all this money and went to Miami or Tennessee for his last year. But I was a captain. I put my hand and footprints in the cement at Denny Chimes. I would have lost everything that I built at Alabama. Ty Simpson. My question is, what did he build in Alabama? I mean, this team was a joke. They were the worst Alabama team we've seen in years. He started 1 year. He didn't play at all. Started 1 year. And I don't think he was the problem. I think he was a good player. That's why I want him on the Canes. But the team, what he built, they were the worst Alabama team in forever. They got blown out by not just one, but two Cuban quarterbacks, Castellanos and Mendoza. You know how hard it is to get blown out by two Cuban quarterbacks? That's hard to do in like the private school league in Dade County. That's hard to do if you're at LaSalle. And this guy's getting blown out, not to mention the fact that the team got completely steamrolled.
LaSalle's good. LaSalle's a really good program these days, by the way.
They are.
Shout out to Coach Helder Valle over there.
But he's getting smoked by Georgia. And again, I think he is good. That's why I want him in Miami. I'm not trying to trash him. He's good. He was the guy I wanted, really, as far as the potential options. I thought he would have been fit like a glove. But this idea that he built something in Alabama and he cheapened it going to Miami, and Gabby put this tweet out and he was dead on. You think when Carson Beck's crossing that end zone, getting ready to play in the national championship game, historic moment, crowd going crazy, world watching, people are like, oh man, wonder what happened to his Georgia legacy, And by the way, Carson Beck did way more at Georgia than Ty Simpson ever did at Alabama. So,
I wonder how much of this is, I'll say this, D. The Simpsons have done a lot of posturing already, I think, with the NFL. A lot of this stuff is image-based with the NFL. A lot of it is, the comments his dad, who's a coach, came out and said every single GM I've spoken to has given him a first-round grade, which personally I think is highly unlikely. Just talking to certain people, it's not that he's probably getting. Again, I've tried to explain this before, but every team is going to have certain round grades on guys. They may not have 32 first round grades, but they may have 15, 14 first round grades on guys, but there's still 32 picks. So does he end up as a first round pick? Probably as QB, 3 here. Yes. But and end up as a first round pick, but I just think that a lot of the stuff that's coming, even these quotes now, it also feels to me that he's making it seem like, hey, I had a great opportunity to make a whole lot of money, but I'm going to bet on myself here going to the NFL. I love the game of football. It's not about the money for me. When it's not like if he's a first round pick, he's still making more than he would have made at Miami over the course of his contract. So.
Yeah, I mean, what I said is the concern is when you get to the league, are you going to play as well? Because quarterbacks with under 20 starts historically are terrible. So he has to deal with that handicap. Now, people are going to hear this after we trash Levin and be like, this is a Sour Grace podcast. I like Ty Simpson. I think Ty Simpson is good. I didn't want Levin. I wanted Ty Simpson.
I'm more confused why, I wouldn't have been saying this stuff if it wasn't for him coming out.
It was just so unnecessary. And yeah, just again, what did he build there that Carson Beck didn't build more of at Georgia? And now he is doing things that Ty Simpson never could dream of. So while also getting paid. So yeah, that frustrated me. One thing I will say, Pete, and we talked about this offline, I've talked about it online, from a Miami standpoint, I think Miami can do a better job, is you got to identify guys that want to be Canes. Don't chase guys that are so unlikely just from a cultural standpoint to want to be a Hurricane. I mean, Carson Beck is from Florida. Carson Beck is a Florida boy. You put him in that locker room, and he is one of the guys. Cam Ward, even though he's not from Florida, same thing. He is a Miami guy. When you're chasing a guy that is Ty Simpson, he listens to country, which I love. I like country. He watches Seinfeld, and he builds Legos. You think this guy is going to go to the Miami Hurricanes? Is he building a Club 11 with his Lego sets? Come on, guys. Let's just be smart about who we are trying to target, because you have to spend a lot of time on these guys. You have to spend a lot of money on these guys. There's opportunity.
Let's look at the other guys that they've gone after. Sorsby, they were very aggressive in that one. D. Texas kid, there was a lot of ties to Texas Tech already. You almost should, and they aren't built like this, but you almost have to concede that one early. And move on. And Levitt, the red flags were there. They were concerned about them before. They still got to the point where they said, well, this is better than other options out there. And then those concerns bite you in the butt. So I think would Levitt have been from a talent standpoint? Would it have worked? And was there a lot to work with there? Yes, but these other intangibles are hard to quantify. And I agree with that. I just think, and look, CJ Bailey's not the only one who would have been a good fit from that standpoint. But it doesn't seem like they made headway or have made headway with anyone just yet. So let's see.
All right, well, let's talk to the insider here as we break this thing down. But first, before we bring on the one and only, just want a real quick shout out U Health Sports, who helped this team get ready for this incredible moment. So thank you for getting this team ready to play in this championship game, a moment that we're going to remember forever. And look, it doesn't have to just be them. If you're an athlete or just an active person, you know how hard this is on the injured list with pain or injury like Keontae Scott did. Maybe even try to hack your own rehab. But if compromising your movement performance is not an option, call the experts at the University of Miami Sports Medicine Institute. Whether it's elite competition with Miami Hurricanes athletics or just everyday movement, the University of Miami Sports Medicine Institute is the trusted choice for those who demand excellence. Set an appointment today at uhealthsports.com. All right, it's time. He's been waiting. He's got a whole new setup, looking very, very professional. Last time I saw him, he had confetti in his hair. And now he is here with us, the one and only, the Orchid Man. How we doing?
Good morning, boys.
Are you like in Breaking Bad right now? Like, where are you at?
Listen, it's constantly changing with the Orchid Man. So today we're at a construction site.
You get your hands dirty, man. That's what I like. You're at Riviera Country Club, you know, sipping with the bigwigs, and then you're out here getting your hands dirty. That's the Orchid Man touch right there. You're not just out there in an office sending in orders.
No, sir. How you guys doing?
I'm doing well, man. I just hope we've been in the same section here for a couple of the games. I hope we're in the same section for the next one, man. It's been good luck here.
It's been a good ride, man. It's been a good ride. Go ahead, D.
Talk to me, man. Again, like I said, I saw you at the Fiesta Bowl. You were on the field. What was that experience like, just for you and just what you observed, seeing this team after such a huge win?
You know, it's been the best ride of my life, to be honest with you. I think next to getting married and having my children, I think this has been the best month of my life. I think it's a lot of fun. It's an excitement that is hard to quantify when, you know, we've all been on this together. To be able to actually talk it and to actually come into fruition is something that's hard to really feel. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised by where we are. I'm not surprised by you know where we're headed. It just feels good that we're actually here and that we're 120 hours or so away from potentially winning a national championship.
Let me follow up, because, you know, we're all Cuban on this call, Cuban American, proudly American, Cuban descent. Being from Miami, being in this whole deal, it's a unique situation right now. Like with Mendoza, Indiana's buying billboards down here. Everybody's related to him in some way, or, you know, one removed, some cousin or something, or some friend of a friend. It feels like this championship, obviously with Mario and Mirabal, and then all the storylines that you talk about, just guys that are from Miami, D'Angelo Pons, Sharp, some of the guys they have. I mean, this championship feels, Jose, like one of the biggest things that's going to happen in this city, just in Miami, if you live here, in a long time.
I mean, I'm a Columbus guy, so, you know, obviously a lot of respect for Mario and Alex and everything that they've done. You can do nothing but respect Fernando and his grind and his perseverance to get to the stage that he's at today. I am friends with his aunt, so there's a lot of interconnections.
There you go, talking about everyone who knows someone. D.
Yeah, I'm telling you, they are a great family. They are legit. It's our time, and as much as I, you know, love and respect Fernando, and that he's a Columbus guy and all that, people in this town have to be straight, and it's Miami's time. It's Miami's moment, and we're not gonna veer from that.
So it's crazy, man. It's just the whole, like, I'm here in Miami Beach. They're setting up. It's just surreal to see it in action. But I want to ask you about Carson Beck, because, you know, like I do, the process for him to get here and that whole situation. Quite honestly, Orchid Man, this time last year, we were kind of in a similar situation to what we are now with the portal.
Yeah.
Because you were in the trenches there, just talking to people, as was I. There were a lot of variables. Like there's a lot of variables now. It wasn't like there was a set. This is what's going to happen.
Look,
From
I think
now with Carson Beck, just go ahead.
And I kind of was listening to you guys before I got on, and I just want to go back to a little bit of what you were speaking about Sorsby and Levitt and so on. There are moments in time where everything lines up for you. Cam Ward lined up for Miami. Okay, he is, like you were saying, a Miami guy. Carson Beck was totally a Miami guy. And what happens is that, unfortunately, this year, we have a bunch of guys that are not Miami guys. And unfortunately, Sorsby, I respect the staff, and I respect Dennis and Mario about going for the best, right? Sorsby in my opinion, was the best. He was never going to come here because he obviously had ties to Texas Tech. Sam Levitt was never a guy that was going to come here. He was not a Miami guy. As Pete was saying, plenty of red flags, right? I could tell you those red flags are accurate. That guy was not going to be a fit culturally on this team whatsoever. So he moves on to the perfect place for him, which is LSU and Lane Kiffin, honestly. And they'll go 8-4 next year. Okay. So do I think Miami's going to find a quarterback between now and next Wednesday? If I was a gambling man, I'd put my chips on that staff to make something happen between now and next Wednesday. If it doesn't happen for whatever reason, give me the national championship on Monday, and I'll happily go 9-3 next year. And we go back to the drawing board and we get somebody else next year.
I don't want to go back there, man. I don't want to go back there,
listen,
man.
And by the way, this roster, who says we can't go 10-2 with Luke Nickel or Emmy Williams or Darion Coleman? Who says we can't?
Listen, if we win the Natty, you could take the next year off. You could just not play games, and I'll see you in 2027. But if we win the Natty, but yeah, man, we got to take care of business though. I'm
going to tell you, there's nobody in that building looking at next year. Everybody in that building is looking at Monday.
Someone better be looking at next year, Orchid Man. Yeah. I'm sorry to say it. Someone better be.
We better win. Let's win Monday.
Listen, I agree with you. Look, the focus is, and they still have some work to do in the portal outside of QB. We know that, right? There's still some very important pieces out there that they need to close on. But I just wish this thing was locked up, man. If I'm being honest with you, I think we all wish that we weren't having it. And we can blame it on the timeline of what it looks like, but all these other teams who have been playing have their QB.
Timeline was tough. And the players just didn't line up for Miami right now, but is there somebody out there that's not in the portal yet? We'll see. Got 2 days.
I'm not talking about 9-3.
That's what it has to be. That's what it has to be.
Yeah.
I think that's the only way that fans would be happy with how things turn out there.
Yeah, I'm not talking about 9-3 unless it's a first quarter score and we're about to kick an extra point. But in terms of this, I will say last year it was this wide open, let's call it, before Carson Beck.
Yeah.
And Carson Beck, we've seen how that turned out. So that we were in a very, very similar position, and Orchid Man, because you were there last year.
I trust my staff, and I'm sure they're working.
Yeah.
Listen, I have no doubt that they're working. I don't trust me. I know they are. They're trying to figure something out. I just, we've been happy with the end result the last 2 years, which is why you still until they come up empty-handed, I can't go in on them, right?
I don't think we're gonna. I don't think we are. I just don't think we will. You know.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough to go back too, especially now. You know, Jose, you've seen this run, and just not just the wins and the elation from that, but like just how big time everything is.
Everything is big time right now.
Everything's big time. Like going back to like the Shreveport Bowl or like Pinstripe, man. I'd be like Marcus Freeman. I'd have hair dye dripping out my head talking about quitting.
And that bandwagon is full. Everybody in this town is trying to get on now.
How many ticket requests have you got in the last 20 days or 20 hours, I should say?
It's been a lot, and I was able to secure a lot. But it's too many people, man. Too many people, and people that I would like to help that it's impossible. It's just there's no access. It sold out yesterday, and I'm gonna tell you this because I've seen it on Twitter as well. The crying of and I feel for people, but if you were a season ticket holder in this town for the Hurricanes on December 8th, they sent you an email and they told you, here are your ticket requests. How many do you want for Texas A&M? How much do you how many do you want for the Cotton Bowl? How many do you want for the Fiesta Bowl? And how many do you want for the national championship? That email went out to every single season ticket holder. I and a lot of people got that request, and I filled it. I got filled top to bottom. I went to A&M. I went to the Cotton Bowl. I went to the Fiesta Bowl. I'm going to the national championship because I organized and I got my stuff. People in this town didn't think the Hurricanes were going to go to the national championship. That's the bottom line. There wasn't, the bandwagon wasn't full on December 7th.
I'm going to tell you the truth, Orchid Man. I don't think people realize too that that's actually the way and I'm not blaming. Everyone I know that requested it got them like previously. So 100% I agree with you. Yeah, but I think people now have learned their lesson moving forward.
But whose fault is that? It's not the ticket office's fault. It's not the university's fault. It falls on the person. Handle your business. You got the email. If you believe, then do it. A lot of people believed. A lot of people forgot. Listen, it could have slipped. People get 100 emails a day. But if you requested them on December 8th, you were granted them that day all the way until Monday. And that's the God honest truth, right? And people
now we got more season ticket holders next year, man. It's all good.
Yeah, and plus Indiana guys gave a bunch of money too.
How do you think the crowd's going to be? I think it's going to be pretty good for Miami now that I'm starting to see some of the messages out of Indiana. Like they seem frustrated with the tickets too, the prices. They got to get a hotel. I think we might have a little advantage here.
Listen, I would hope that Miami fans, because it's very tempting to buy something for $1,000 or $1,400 and sell them for $11,000. That's very tempting. We're all human. But there is no money that you can offer me to not be in that moment and in that stadium on that time in that moment. There's just nothing there's no money value to that. And I hope a lot of people, will feel like how I feel, and really not sell their tickets. Miami's gonna have 20,000 people there. I think for the most part, it's the 25,000 that we don't know, right? There's that sponsor, issue that we just don't know where those tickets are being allocated to and to who they're being allocated to. So I don't know. I would think that at the very least it should be 60-40 Miami. But it all depends. Hotels aren't cheap here. Somebody told me yesterday that flights from Indiana are $2,000 a pop. Indiana to Miami. So if you're gonna come here for a family of 4, you better have some bucks, because it's gonna cost you $50,000 to come to this event.
Yeah, I know there's some rich people in Indiana Like that school's a great business school. My dad actually went there for business school. So I know
Did he really?
Yeah. He said it was the best school he ever went to. It's a top school, but I mean, we got rich people here too now. So like, I'm not sure Miami people.
Now we got to worry about Big C switching sides, man.
No, he's loyal to the soil.
No,
I have an Indiana, Oregon, Miami family. Really, more. It shows you how little Miami grads there are. No one in my family really went to Miami. My sister.
What were you gonna say, Orchid Man?
He's not going anywhere. Big C is as loyal as they come.
The only grown men that go by his nicknames in their 40s or beyond are me, you, D Train, and Big C. Those are
now we know. Now we know where you get it from, D.
Big
That's
C,
true.
Big C, like D Money, D Train, and Orchid Man.
So
let's talk a little bit about Carson, because we were about to talk about that,
yeah.
and I'd like to touch on that for a minute, because you know, a lot of talk about Indiana, of how what a veteran-led team they are, of how good they are, you know, schematically, and how well they're coached, and all that is very accurate. But people are really forgetting what a manager, what a seasoned veteran we have at quarterback. And I believe the quarterback position is one of the most important positions there are, period. And when you have Carson Beck, who has a 38-5 record, who has played in the SEC, who has played in a multitude of big games, who has the ability to win it, as we saw, I like my chances of an 88% guy winning percentage. That when I walk into that stadium on Monday, I have an 88% chance of winning. I don't get all these experts. I don't get all of these media people continually to dismiss Carson Beck. I just don't get it, D.
You think that would shut up after the drive he had? I mean, you're talking about 2 minutes to score a touchdown to win in the semifinal. What's bigger than that? I mean, you could say the national championship is as big, but it's not like it's bigger. It's
go back to third and 12 in Ohio State. I mean, how many times does this kid have to prove to you that his nutsack is as big as anybody else's? How many times?
Eddie House, man. Eddie House celebration.
Yeah, and I think if you're Carson Beck, you know he thinks he's the best quarterback in the country, right? He doesn't think he's a game manager or whatever people want to paint him as. He thinks he's the number one quarterback in the country. He thinks he should be the number one pick of the draft. If you're Carson Beck, you think that everything that Mendoza has is what he should have. And I think there's a great opportunity to show, if you're Carson Beck, that guy that you put number one in the mock draft before Mendoza, that's who I am. I'm the best quarterback in the country. That's a great opportunity.
He was his junior year. He was going to be the first pick in the draft.
Right. So that's how he sees himself, as he should.
But what really has changed? How can the narrative consistently be to shit on the guy? I really don't get it. I don't get it.
They don't like his face. They don't like his tattoos. I mean, I don't know, because I can tell you, and I've said this a million times, and you know this because you're in there. The team loves Carson Beck. Yep, whatever issues they had in Georgia, which, by the way, Georgia's watching all this from TV. This team loves Carson Beck. Am I wrong or right? Coaches and players.
They do. And and again, we go back. And I think I've mentioned this before in some of our podcasts, but it's a team that loves to play football. And Dennis mentioned that to me in June and July. He goes, man, this has been a team since spring that does nothing but want to play ball. And it's fitting that we're here at the end, because they're a team that loves to play football. They're united. They love each other. And like Mario says, we haven't come this far to come this far, right? And I think it's time. It's our time. And there's nothing that's going to hold back the Canes on Monday night.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. So this game in particular, just in X's and O's? I know you've seen Indiana. Anything that just jumps out to you matchup wise in this one?
I really think that we have to put pressure on Mendoza. I think there's no doubt. And if you look at that Oregon game, especially at the beginning, they did not pressure him enough. They did not hit him enough. They did not pressure him enough. And I think if I'm us, I think you got to hit him early, you got to hit him often, and you got to hit him in the ground. Listen, I will tell you this, which I think is great. The refs are Big 12 refs. And those were the A&M refs, which we had a very clean game. They let them play. And I think if we get in there and we can rough him up a little bit, I think we can cause some fumbles. I think we can cause some turnovers. And I think it's off to the races. Again, I'm not trying to be a homer. I'm trying to look at things objectively. I'm not scared. I'm not scared. Give me 7, give me 7.5, give me 8.5, give me whatever you want to give me. They said from the beginning, if Miami was going to win, if they had to beat Oregon, we're going to be a 5.5 point underdog. If Oregon beat them, we're going to be a 2.5 point underdog. 3 points here because of the result of Oregon, which we both know, everybody knows, it was one turnover after another. It was a disaster. Oregon turned out to be the frauds that they are, because again, and I loved. Did you hear Kirk Herbstreit's monologue at the end of the game of the Fiesta Bowl?
Oh no, what did he say?
Yeah, I did, about the building the cult, getting guys who want to play football.
Oh yeah.
That's the bottom line. Oregon can get all the 5 stars they want. They can overpay, and they could burn Phil Knight's money till the cows come home. Go for it. But what we have in front of us, and what we have in that building at the Heck Center, is a team. It's a culture. It's a runaway train that is not going to stop. It's not going to stop for a quarterback next year. It's not going to stop about Indiana on Monday. This is a runaway train. We have a system. We have people in place that are good evaluators. Pete, talk to me about Jarquez Carter. We wanted that kid last year. We wanted him.
Yeah, and they think he's going to play a lot, man. They think he's going to play a lot next year.
That kid's a unit. And guess what? He probably wanted to come here last year. Ohio State probably overpaid him. Most likely.
And he still played 7 games last year. So you're getting a guy who got some playing time. He's not really like he's young, but he's not he's not coming in he's not the same thing as a true freshman.
Yeah, and one thing I heard about him is that Patricia wasn't there when he signed, or at least he wasn't part of the recruiting process. So he doesn't fit Patricia's defense as well as he fits ours. This guy's an upfield explosive guy. So he played for them, and he really fits us even better than he fits them. So I'm super excited about Carter. To your point, Orchid Man, about Mendoza getting him down on the ground. When we played Chambliss, when we played Heinschel, some of those run-around type quarterbacks, I said you got to bring the pressure with the defensive backs so they can't just run around you guys, and you could bring them down. There it is, Champy. Shout out to Champy Seafood right there. But with Chambliss and Heinschel, you'd bring Keontae Scott, you'd bring the Bryce Fitzgerald, you'd bring these guys, and they were fast enough to run around with these guys, but they were strong enough to bring them down. Mendoza, one thing for those who don't watch him a lot or have not been around him in person, like, he is big. He's strong. He's stronger than he looks on TV. He honestly, Pete, tell me if you like this comparison. He reminds me of Andrew Luck a little bit. In terms of how he is right now. Like, yeah, he's bulked up that way and he can move like that. So I think the guys that need to be taking him to the ground, it's not like Chambliss who's going to outrun Bain and Messidor. This to me is Bain, Messidor, Mo Toure, Marquise Lightfoot, guys like that. Get this dude to the ground, because DBs, if you bring in DBs after him, he can shed some tackles. He's a big, big dude.
No, there's no doubt. Listen, nothing against Indiana. I think Indiana's a great team. I think Fernando's a great quarterback, and it's going to be a great game. I just don't like. Actually, I do like to be to be in the position that we're in,
Exactly.
because no one is giving us a chance. And all the talk, as I knew we would be all about, is Indiana going to be considered the best team of all time? They're going to be the first 16-0 team. They're going, and you see it on Twitter, the Twitter warriors, they're going to absolutely smash Miami. I think that's how we flourish. I like to be the underdog, and people in that building, especially Mario, has something to be able to latch on and get these kids. Not that you need to get more fired up than you are, because I'm about to just put on a helmet and run onto the field if I could. It's going to be. And somebody just said Miami, Nebraska. I saw something on Twitter this morning about that, which I thought was great. Miami, Nebraska was the ultimate underdog. Miami was nothing like we are today. I think there are similarities in the aspect that no one's giving us an opportunity and a chance, but Miami's here. Miami wasn't here in 1983. We're going for our 6th national championship. We're not a fly by night, football team.
No, powerhouse. And you talk about the underdog. To your point, we're the powerhouse. But beyond that, I think that whole underdog thing, a lot of think that's going to last one drive. Because when they see our defensive line against their offensive line, and they see our offensive line against their defensive line, we are not going to physically look like an underdog team. That doesn't mean we're going to win. We'll see how the game plays out. I think it's going to be a classic. But
I think so too.
The way it's going to look to the eye, you're not going to look at that game and be like, oh, Miami's the underdog. Because
I think, you got to look at the common opponents. I think that's been a pretty good factor that you could look at across these playoffs for the most part. There's that one common opponent, Ohio State. We saw the game that they played against Ohio State. We saw the game that Miami played against Ohio State. Miami looked, and the dudes at Ohio State are just, I'm sorry, Ohio State still, I can say this, Ohio State has more dudes than Indiana does. Go ahead, Orchid Man.
Look at the bracket. Oregon gave up 34 against JMU, right? 24-34? Against JMU, they gave up 34. Okay. From that, and then from this, so Oregon beats JMU. Oregon beats Texas Tech,
who doesn't have a quarterback,
which we know was another fraud because they didn't have a quarterback. They couldn't even move the ball, right?
They beat him up front. They just didn't have a quarterback.
Indiana beats, in my opinion, the weakest Alabama team in the last 10 years, clearly, right?
20.
So what are you telling me? You're telling me that Indiana's bracket, anywhere you slice it, is weak. What did we just do? That's why, to me, it's mind-blowing, the disrespect. What did we just do? We went to a 110,000 seat stadium at Kyle Field and we embarrassed those guys with a 30-mile-an-hour wind. We go to the Cotton Bowl and we dominated a common opponent. And then we go to the Fiesta Bowl and beat a tough Ole Miss team who had saliva coming down their throat, right? Because they wanted to prove Lane Kiffin wrong. They wanted to prove the world wrong, and we still slapped them. So, who's the more prepared team? In my opinion, it's not even a question.
Jose, I could tell you were about to cook because you put your hands in position before Pete even finished talking, just so you can get ready. You were like this before Pete even finished talking because you were ready to spit that one out to bring that fire, man. So I could not agree more. By the way, we had to go on basically the playoffs from SMU on to the selection Sunday. That was a playoff.
5 road games in a row. Now we come home.
Let's do it, baby. Fire it up. Listen, when you see the confetti coming down on Monday, look for the Orchid Man. And if you need your commercial or residential property to be in the hands of the best landscape artisans in South Florida. OrchidManFlorida.com. Victor Cabana says, this guy's got me hyped at work. He's cooking. Hey, that's the man right here. OrchidMan Man Florida. If you have any landscaping needs, residential, commercial, you want the quarterback. You want the man who's going to be not just running the show, but he's going to be in the trenches, as you see right there from the job site. Jose, you're the man. We appreciate you.
Love you, boys. Go Canes.
Go Canes.
Canes. One more, man. Great
Fired
stuff
up
there. Yeah. Awesome.
It got me fired up, man. I'll tell you what else got me fired up.
Kyle says, can Orchid Man find a QB in the weeds he's cutting?
Maybe
no, man.
We're
We're searching far and wide right now. I know we're doing everything we can. So nothing would surprise me.
Croqueta King says, OM needs to give the pregame speech Monday. Yeah, man, I am fired up. I'm fired up to be spending some time making some money with KashKick, KashKick in the App Store. 1.5 million downloads, 4.5 plus average rating. KashKick, you play games, all consolidated on your phone, your favorite games, do surveys, browse, and you're making real money in the side, going straight into your PayPal, all legit. Again, 1.5 million downloads. This is not some fly-by-night. This is one of the biggest apps in the country. KashKick in the App Store. Give your free time a raise. Don't waste time. Make some money on the side with KashKick. KashKick. Yeah, that was fun. We got a lot of shows today, brother.
We got a couple more shows today. So I'm gonna be doing a show live from Lomelo's at around 11:15 or so. When we hop off here, we're gonna be doing a big giveaway. So if you guys go to the Lomelo's Instagram, it's up on the CanesInSight page as well. You'll see the information there. We're going to be doing a big giveaway. So go to the CanesInSight Instagram. You'll see the post up there. Giving away not only a bunch of meat, but a player backpack, right? So this was, I understand this was actually DJ Ivy's. So a great CanesInSight name from the past, kind of collaborating there on this with Lomelo's here. So
NFL
stay tuned
Corner.
for that. NFL Corner, man. Awesome to see his success. You know, we've known DJ since he was a sophomore in high school. Shout out to Coach Duasso, who was along for that journey as well. But yeah, man, stay tuned for that. Go over to the Lomelo's and CanesInSight Instagram to join the giveaway there.
CEO 911 says Charlie Becker's going to be a problem. Vanilla Randy Moss, 6'4", 4.3 speed, great hands, dog mentality. When I first saw him, I was like, walk on, like he'll catch the ball, reliable guy, nothing special. Then you watch him more, man, that guy he is good. He is getting downfield, no problem. He's going over the top of every defense they played against. Obviously, great chemistry with Mendoza. That's his roommate. He might be the best NFL guy out of all those dudes when it's all said and done. I think all three of them are pros, but he might be the best one down the road. He is talented. That's going to be a problem for us. It sucks that we're not having Xavier Lucas in the first half.
Kyle says we got Vanilla Vic, though, so we're all good.
There it is. Yeah, they got to deal with Carson Beck's running. I mean, you have to account for it at this time, especially like this is his last game. You know he's going to be throwing his body out there.
Yeah, listen, Orchid Man made some valid points, D. Made some very valid points. And I will say, if he feels like we are going to figure something out at QB, then I feel good about that.
Trust the Orchid Man. We were in the same situation last year, and it worked out fine. So I'm choosing to believe. Let's finish the talk though about this one, because one thing that jumps out after we talked a lot. We did the show yesterday afternoon, which by the way, that's my favorite show I think we've ever done. We had absolutely zero info.
They had good numbers, man.
We had zero info. It was still so fun to do, but like making our calls, talking to people. What jumps out to me about this process, Pete, there is a lot of variability right now. If you ask me who I think the quarterback of Miami is going to be, I couldn't tell you one iota. And I think nothing would surprise me.
There were some jokes in the comments yesterday that may not be jokes in the next few days.
going to be interesting, man. And look, I think we talked portal, Damon Wilson. We keep mentioning his name. I know there's an update on him with on 3 talking about basically he visited LSU. I don't think LSU's in the mix. Looks like Miami and Texas Tech. We both agree we could see Miami being aggressive to try to get that one done. I think it's a natural fit. It's not going to be cheap. This guy's got 9 sacks. He's an NFL defensive end. Those things are expensive. But I think the guy fits personality-wise, game-wise, position-wise. We have guys that will help him, younger guys around him. But I think you need a veteran that can do his thing.
Yeah, 100%. People are saying DJ Lagway. That's actually not who I was referring to in terms of what we were talking about yesterday. But
you know what, though? I was convincing myself on him as a joke on the show. And I kind of woke up and I convinced myself. I'm like, you know what? I mean, what if he goes number 1 overall? We build him right back up. He's got the arm. He's got the size. Lost 15 pounds doing yoga and swimming. Get the body right. Maybe he goes to like a pescatarian type diet, like a Tom Brady kind of diet.
I think I'd rather him go keto. He'll drop the weight fast.
But no, I mean, I'm not throwing that. Like I joke about
Steve
that.
Angeli's name has been thrown out a lot, D, and we haven't talked about him, but he's coming off a torn Achilles. That's such a tough one to come back from.
Yeah, and he's good, but we're talking national championship. You know, you kind of need a little more.
He was
upside,
he was like top 3 in the country in passing before he got hurt, but dude, he's coming off of an Achilles injury. That's as serious as it gets. I'm not banking my hopes on a guy coming off an Achilles.
No, I'm with you. We loved Angeli. We thought that was a great pickup for Syracuse. I thought Tennessee should have picked him up. Aguilar was fine. Tennessee also, it seems like they're still being pretty aggressive. It's like, what's Tennessee got cooking? I saw a report that Houston Longstreet might go to LSU even with Levitt, which is bizarre. Like, why wouldn't he stay at USC?
Right.
So this thing is very variable. Juan Manuel Ventura in the comments is screaming about Connor Weigman. I didn't watch enough of him, to be honest with you, last year. Did you get your eyes on Weigman? I mean, I liked him when he played in Miami.
I've always heard character stuff with him is the issue.
Yeah, we don't need that. He did have a decent year, looking at the numbers. 25 touchdowns, 9 picks, 65% completion, 2,700 yards. But
Tribula signed with UVA, or he's going to UVA. So Weigman's got tools. Yeah, as Kyle says, I think he's got tools. And he can run a little bit too, but I've always heard that the character was an issue with him.
Man, looking at Beck's stats, he's really had 3 seasons as a starter. Has 11,500 yards, 87 touchdowns, 8.5 per attempt. I mean, this guy's stats are good. Like, forget the winning. Like, Beck has good stats. I agree with Prisoners. 59% in college. That's tough. But, you know, Sorsby was 59, I want to say, something like that when he was at Indiana.
It's funny. I'm not going to be able to find the comment now, but someone said earlier, you know, why are you guys such CJ Bailey guys? I know he's a South Florida kid, but he's the very inconsistent passer. I've never heard of an inconsistent passer that has 70% completion percentage.
Yeah, he's 19.
Yeah.
So
top 15 in the country in QBR. I think he was like 13th, right behind Beck, maybe. But yeah, I don't understand how people don't see it with Bailey. I think you could say, well, he struggles in the face of pressure. Which quarterback does not struggle in the face of pressure?
Right.
What's going to happen if he comes to Miami? He's going to be behind an offensive line that he won't. You got some reshuffling to do here. You got some pieces to move around, right? It's going to look a lot different next year, but it's going to be still one of the best offensive lines in the country. He's not going to have the same amount of pressure he was getting at NC State. I just don't. I don't see where people are so down on him.
We've been screaming it to her blue in the face. We'll see how the whole thing plays out, but I'm expecting the unexpected, man. What you can't expect, Pete's going to be at Lomelo's. He's going to do his show from there. I'm recording a bunch of interviews that you will see later on that you're going to be very excited about. I want to record them before I start pumping them up. You'll be very, very excited about these. And then we got the Mike Ryan show at 1:45, I believe we're targeting right now, live from Casa Cultura. So that's going to be a fun one. We got some big announcements, some Like, this is championship week, man. We've been talking loud for 2 years of doing that show. Now it's championship week. It's amazing. There's only 2 teams playing. That to me is the craziest thing. It's like you think about all these other teams, like they're not playing. Like we don't have to worry about them. We don't have to worry about any of these other players down the road beating us. Like they're all beaten.
I don't want to go back to the 9-3 slums, man. I really don't.
I love Orchid Man. The chat turned on him briefly when he dropped that one.
Yeah, I mean, look, if it happens, you have to live with it. Then I guess, but I'm not taking it. I'm not taking that one.
Big Bud Jones says, "Are we just waiting for a so and so has entered the portal type announcement? Then we'll know." That's probably right because even if we get the word, it's hard to say until it's official.
Because you've heard this stuff like that before. So
right, exactly. Real quick before we sign off here,
I want to get to this real quick, D, and then we'll sign off. Steve Smith wants to know why we're disrespecting Darion Coleman, Luke, Nickel, Emery, and Judd. We're not the ones making the decision, man. Miami's obviously going out there and pursuing a quarterback. So that should tell you what they think about the QB room right now. It's not us, man. They've gone after a bunch of QBs here, and they're trying to land someone still. So let the action speak.
Yeah, I mean, my big issue with Emery was when we played in the Pop-Tart Bowl, they didn't really let him throw. And in the end, Iowa State's defense was terrible. I mean, we were scoring every possession. And we had Arroyo, we had our offensive line, we had Martinez. Like, we had a good offense on the field. So, like, not throwing in that scenario with that great surrounding cast against a defense that's not really very good, really nothing to lose. Like, if we're going to ever throw, I thought we would have thrown a little bit in that game. I understood the Clemson one because Clemson is a true freshman. You're playing against a tough defense. I get that one. This one to me was a little weirder. So I didn't like that aspect of it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. It's going to be interesting, man. It'll continue to drive these numbers on these shows, man. I love it. I love trying to just figure it out. It's fun, except I won't love it if we don't end up with anybody. So,
by the way, some news just broke. Josiah Thompson is going back to South Carolina. We reported first we didn't think that was going to happen. It was trending to happen, and then
a fluid situation. But again, so people will ask if that's related to Seton. I don't think it is.
Yeah, no, I think it's more related to Thompson himself. So, I mean, I heard nothing character-wise or anything. So, I've been saying I like McCoy at left tackle, at least to give him a shot. Now, I think we need maybe another body. And I say body means someone that can play, like another person. But I like McCoy at left tackle. I think he can get the job done there, personally. But we'll have to see.
I have a name for you. I'll figure it out after the show, D. I have a name there. I think is an interior guy.
Oh, all right. Well,
stay tuned. I don't have it right now. I have it, but I got to run it by you first. So
yeah, we'll compare notes as we do on the CanesInSight daily podcast. Almost 3,000 on. Like and subscribe to the show. If you're not subscribed to the show and you watch the Canes, what are you doing? We are on every single day making it happen. Appreciate you joining us. Appreciate the Orchid Man. Also appreciate.
I'll be back in like an hour. So
what's up?
I'll be back in like an hour. You were talking about the Miami Hurricane team.
Yeah, no, you'll be back in an hour. We'll be back in 2 hours after that altogether. Shout out to the Miami Hurricane team store, MiamiHTS.com, located right across the street from the University of Miami, but you can order online. Promo code INSIGHT20 will get you 20% off. Get all the gear. Celebrate the Fiesta Bowl win. Celebrate the Cotton Bowl win. Celebrate the win over Texas A&M. Celebrate the national championship appearance. And there may be more gear on the way, but go to MiamiHTS.com. Promo code INSIGHT20 will get you 20% off your first item. Appreciate everybody joining us. Like and subscribe. Go Canes.
Go Canes.